someone check on Adam Silver because Caitlin Clark just big-timed the NBA. She said, nah, I'm good on the three-point contest. You know how we were all speculating that it was going to be Steph Curry and Klay Thompson versus Sabrina and Caitlin Clark? Well, Shams just reported that Caitlin Clark will not participate in the NBA All-Star Special three-point shootout in San Francisco and wants her first three-point contest to be at WNBA All-Star in Indianapolis this summer.
Caitlin Clark just shattered expectations, redefining the WNBA as she turned down the NBA's spotlight, choosing to make history in the WNBA instead.
I don't know why she would want to do it anyway. I don't get it. If she did it, I would tune in and watch it. I'm not going to lie about that. And I said, I do believe the NBA, frankly, at this point, needs her more than the NBA. She needs the NBA.
We do know for sure that Caitlin Clark has never been one to shy away from the big stage. But when offered a historic opportunity to compete alongside NBA legend Stephen Curry in the NBA's three-point contest, she made it clear where her priorities lie. The sharpshooting phenom declined the invitation, not because she wasn't interested, but because she wanted to do it on her terms, in the WNBA, for her league and her fans first.
She wants her first three-point contest to be at a WNBA All-Star game in Indianapolis this.
Clark's decision speaks volumes about her commitment to elevating women's basketball. While it would have been a groundbreaking moment to see a female player competing in the NBA's All-Star Weekend, she saw a greater opportunity to bring that same excitement and attention to the WNBA stage.
Long threes, like she obviously has the ability. You know, we've seen her make 50 out of 54 shots, but he expressed that concern as well. You know, it's very different shooting off of a rack, and that is something that does take a bit of practice. And from what we have seen in her workouts and all these different types of things, Caitlin is, I mean, I don't know her personally, but she seems like the type of person, if she's going to do this contest, she wants to win it. She seems psychotic. She seems to have that Kobe mentality. When I say psychotic in basketball, you guys, I mean that as a good thing. I think any great athlete is a little bit crazy. I think Caitlin is too, but in the best way. She has that.
Clark has always embraced the responsibility of growing the women's game, and this move reinforced that dedication. She wasn't going to let the NBA take credit for a moment that rightfully belonged to the WNBA and its fans. Clark's reasoning was simple, yet profound. She didn't want her first three-point contest at the professional level to be on an NBA platform. Instead, she wanted to debut in front of the fans who have supported her from the start, the ones in Indiana and across the country who have followed her journey from Iowa to the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark has made her decision. She will not be competing in this year's NBA three-point contest. Instead, she wants to keep it in where she's at, headquartered Indiana Fever. She wants to stay in Indianapolis, for the upcoming WNBA All-Star game, and that is where she will be competing in the three-point contest.
This decision is particularly significant given the ongoing conversations about media coverage, sponsorship, and recognition in women's sports. For years, WNBA players have fought for their league to receive the same respect and visibility as the NBA. Clark, arguably the most marketable women's basketball player in years, is using her platform to push that movement forward. Instead of lending her star power to an NBA event, she's choosing to keep the momentum within the WNBA.
There was a lot of hype in this Battle of the Sexes three-point contest in the NBA All-Star Game, in which people were anticipating Sabrina Ionescu and Caitlin Clark versus like a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Splash Brothers type thing. And it has been reported from Sports Business Journal that Caitlin Clark has declined to be a part of that contest.
Meanwhile, the reigning NBA three-point king has even praised Clark's range and fearlessness, acknowledging that she has helped redefine what's possible in the women's game. The chance to go head-to-head with Curry in a three-point contest would have undoubtedly been a ratings boost for the NBA. But Clark recognized the bigger picture. She isn't turning down the opportunity entirely, she's simply delaying it until the right moment. Instead of letting the NBA capitalize on her popularity first, she's ensuring that when she steps onto that three-point contest stage, it will be for the WNBA. It's a move that not only strengthens her connection with her fan base, but also reinforces the importance of keeping women's basketball at the center of major basketball conversations.
She plays in her range, and the level of difficulty on her shots is obviously a very close comparison to the way that I play.
I was going to say, Caitlin Clark's been compared to you.
Yeah, but I think it almost robs her of like the rest of her game because she's such a good floor, she has her overall, floor game. She's racking up, close to triple doubles every night, and her shooting ability is, it's her superpower, but the rest of her game is as polished as that, and so as much.
Clark's ability to command national attention has already proven to be a game changer for the WNBA. Every decision she makes is scrutinized and discussed, and she's using that influence to elevate the league in ways few before her have done. By prioritizing the WNBA's All-Star Weekend, she's setting the stage for the event to gain more prestige and media attention. Historically, the WNBA's three-point contest hasn't received the same level of coverage as its NBA counterpart. But with Clark's involvement, that will change. Her participation ensures that millions will be tuning in to watch, giving the WNBA a significant platform boost. More sponsorships, more media coverage, and increased fan engagement will follow, all because she chose to put her league first.
I already know the Caitlin Clark effect is real, but these numbers make it even more incredible. The Indiana Fever just released their midseason growth numbers. They sold out 100% of the season ticket inventory. Total attendance is up 264% from last year. Total attendance, which the season isn't over yet, has increased by over 200% on our way to 300. 186,000 fans have attended Fever home games, and 230,000 have attended the road games. No matter where Caitlin Clark is playing, she's going to draw a crowd.
This decision isn't just about one contest. It's about the future of women's basketball. Clark understands that her role goes beyond making shots from the logo. She's shaping the narrative around the WNBA's growth. By keeping her biggest moments within the league, she's proving that the WNBA doesn't need to borrow credibility from the NBA to thrive. Her influence is already paying off. WNBA ticket sales have surged, Indiana Fever games are seeing record-breaking demand, and media networks are scrambling to cover every step of her journey. Clark is at the center of this movement, and she's making sure the focus stays where it belongs, on the WNBA and its continued rise.
$1,000 for a family of four to go to a WNBA game. That seems wild. It really does. The Clark effect.
Whether it's a special crossover event between the NBA and WNBA or Curry making a guest appearance during the WNBA's All-Star Weekend, Clark has ensured that any such showdown will have the right context, one that highlights the WNBA as an equal, not an afterthought. For now, fans can look forward to Clark lighting up the WNBA's three-point contest, creating a moment that will be remembered as a turning point for the league. It's not about rejecting an opportunity, it's about choosing the right one. And in true Caitlin Clark fashion, she's making the right call for the game, the league, and the fans who have supported her every step of the way.
As great as Steph is, we've seen Steph do that. They would be the novelty of Clark doing it alongside them. So she's the draw. But the more I read the article, also the more it sounds like a negotiation. And, getting Curry to participate in the WNBA All-Star game, if that is indeed an idea that's been floated, that would help boost Indianapolis. And so part of me thinks, all right, this is a back and forth and negotiation is still going to happen. And this is just creating suspense.
Caitlin Clark's decision to turn down the NBA's three-point contest in favor of waiting for the WNBA's event is a bold and strategic move. It reinforces her dedication to elevating women's basketball, ensuring that the WNBA gets the recognition it deserves. By prioritizing her league and her fans, Clark is proving that she's not just a player, she's a movement. Her impact extends beyond the court, shaping the way women's sports are viewed and valued. With every record-breaking shot and every carefully considered decision, she's not just changing the game, she's defining its future. And when she finally steps into that three-point contest, it will be in the league she's helping transform, in front of the fans who have supported her journey from the very beginning.
Caitlin Clark has changed the WNBA herself. No one else. The WNBA All-Star leader in votes in 2023 got 95,000 total votes. Clark got over 700,000 to lead all fan voters this year. And the turnout for voting for the WNBA All-Star Game was 700% higher this year than last year. That's the Caitlin Clark effect.
Clark isn't just playing basketball. She's rewriting history. And this is only the beginning. Caitlin Clark's decision to put the WNBA first, despite the treatment she endured last season, speaks volumes about her commitment to growing the league. After a rookie year filled with harsh fouls, questionable officiating, and little protection from the league, Clark had every reason to prioritize herself. Instead, she turned down the opportunity to participate in the NBA's three-point contest alongside Stephen Curry, a massive platform that would have showcased her talent on the biggest basketball stage, to ensure that her first professional contest appearance happens in the WNBA.
7 months in advance, she confirmed she'll be in that WNBA three-point shootout. If an NBA player wants to go up against her, then they're gonna have to go to Indy. One scenario would have an NBA player such as Curry conceivably reciprocating and doing a similar shootout at the WNBA All-Star Game next summer. As much as I love the NBA All-Star has been suffering these past few years, and Caitlin Clark is one of the biggest draws in basketball. Where she goes, fans follow. The NBA, Adam Silver, they all knew what they were doing inviting her. This was such a boss move that she turned it down. Some people are speculating that, she's not comfortable shooting off of a rack. Yes, I'm sure someone like Caitlin would like adequate practice time before she goes into any shootout, but the reason she declined is because she wants to bring more eyeballs to the WNBA. All-Star is in her backyard this summer. She wants the eyeballs there. She once again continues to uplift women's basketball.
Clark's rookie season was marked by physical play that often went unpunished. She was targeted by defenders with excessive contact, some of which went beyond standard basketball aggression. From being hip-checked to the ground to being shoved after plays, Clark faced a level of physicality that many believed should have resulted in more disciplinary action. Yet, the WNBA largely remained silent. Despite the league failing to step in and set a precedent for protecting its biggest star, Clark has not turned her back on it. Instead of taking the easy route, playing in an NBA event that would have given her global exposure and further cemented her brand, Clark chose to uplift the WNBA. She understands the impact of her presence in the league's All-Star Weekend and how it can bring new fans, increased sponsorships, and higher television ratings. The NBA's three-point contest would have been a major moment, but Clark saw a greater opportunity, keeping the spotlight on the WNBA.
The amount of people I've heard call her a diva, say, like, everything, call her every name under the sun, being like, if Steph Curry's willing to do this, Caitlin Clark's a diva for not doing this.
Clark's decision also benefits her fellow players. By bringing more eyes to the WNBA, she is helping raise the league's profile, which leads to more endorsement deals, higher salaries, and increased media coverage for all athletes involved. Many NBA fans who might not have previously watched the WNBA will now tune in, not just for Clark, but for the other talented players who deserve recognition. This move also forces the WNBA to recognize her value. If the league expects Clark to continue being the face of its future, it will have to do more to protect its star players. Clark has already shown she is willing to sacrifice personal opportunities for the greater good of the league, but that doesn't mean the WNBA can afford to let history repeat itself. The league must ensure that she and other players are given fair treatment on the court.
I feel like it's like everybody's always watching your every move, no matter what you're doing. And I feel like the best thing that I've tried to live by is like to just be the same person that I am off the court, whether I'm, leaving my apartment every single day or whether I'm here sitting in front of all of you. I've tried to approach it in the same exact manner that I can.
Despite everything she endured in her rookie season, Clark remains focused on the bigger picture. She isn't just a generational talent, she's a leader who is actively working to grow women's basketball. While the NBA may have wanted her star power, Clark made it clear that her priority is the WNBA. Her decision will not only elevate the league, but also set a precedent for future stars to follow. She's not just playing for herself, she's playing for the future of women's basketball.
Caitlin Clark announced that she wasn't going into the NBA three-point contest.
The financial impact of Clark's arrival in the WNBA is staggering. Teams that previously struggled to fill seats are now selling out games months in advance whenever the Fever comes to town. According to reports, ticket prices for Indiana's away games are significantly higher than they are for other matchups. In some cases, courtside seats for a Fever game cost more than double what they would for any other WNBA contest. Even franchises that have historically drawn smaller crowds are benefiting from Clark's star power. Whether fans are coming to see her dominate or hoping to witness a rare off night, the demand to be in the building when she plays is unprecedented. This isn't just a short-term spike. Clark's influence is creating long-term financial growth for the WNBA.
The official homepage of the WNBA right now, when they announce this schedule, is a photo of Caitlin Clark, and that's it. It's only Caitlin. It's not any other players. It's not any other teams. The fact that they are seemingly leaning into her finally, at the very off the rip, leaning into her, like having her front and center, this is just something that I don't think that we would have seen last season, and I just think it's great.
Despite the clear evidence of her value to the league, Clark has not let the outside noise distract her. Instead of capitalizing on every opportunity outside the WNBA, she has made it a point to prioritize her team, the Fever, and the league as a whole. Her connection with fans also plays a major role in her decisions. Clark understands that her supporters want to see her shine in the league they've invested in. By keeping her focus on the WNBA, she ensures that more people, whether longtime fans or newcomers drawn in by her stardom, continue to follow and support women's basketball at the highest level.
You know, I was literally watching a show this week and talking about the impact of Caitlin Clark on the WNBA. Well, I was talking about that's why all these numbers were up, and it was all like Caitlin Clark. You know, it's like she's just that figure.
With all that Clark has done for the league in just one season, the WNBA must recognize her importance and treat her accordingly. Last season, she endured constant physical play, harsh fouls, and moments where officials failed to protect her. Many believed that the league should have stepped in more forcefully to ensure that one of its biggest stars wasn't unfairly targeted on the court. Now, with even more eyes on the WNBA and every Indiana Fever game expected to be a must-watch event, the league has an opportunity to make adjustments. Protecting star players, improving officiating, and acknowledging Clark's role in growing the game should be priorities moving forward.
Caitlin Clark is a superstar. Not a female superstar, she is a superstar. She moves the needle. The WNBA has been looking for someone who moves the needle. The ratings just came in. Caitlin Clark's game on Sunday did a bigger number than Warriors Celtics. Did 3.5 million. Warriors Celtics did 3 million. 3.5 million for a women's college basketball.
As the new WNBA season approaches, all eyes will be on Clark once again. The question now is whether the league will step up and give her the protection and recognition she has earned. Regardless of what happens, one thing is certain. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing in the WNBA, she's changing it. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.